New Wave Community Media.
It's just J-Mike.
Hi, Everything But Perfect listeners. We have some exciting news to share. Our podcast is partnering with New Wave Media. They are a nonprofit dedicated to teaching the community about digital literacy and safety. So you can now find us at newwavemedia.org. That is NUWAVE media.org. Check us out and help support the other programs that New Wave Media has to offer. Thank you.
Hey, Kori.
Hey, Nefi.
So, between the two of us, who's the catch?
Who's the catch? You know, I don't like this question. So
No?
I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I'm the catch. But anyway, so let's talk about that.
Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode of Everything But Perfect, where we are everything but perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense, but it actually does make sense.
Well, it takes total sense.
We're not having a drink of the day. We wanted to give something back to you. So I know that when you and I go on dates, we talk a lot.
Yeah.
And we try really hard not to be on our phones, which is sometimes it's really hard to do nowadays because everything is on our phones, right? So we were thinking, what are some good topics to talk about during a date so that you don't have to be on your phone, right? You and I have some pretty good ones. And so let's share it with our listeners.
Oh, yeah.
So if you are thinking of going on a date with someone in the near future, listen to our Date Night Combo Starters segment, where we're just going to give you a conversation starter, and do with that what you will during your date night, and see how much better your night will be, because you'll get to really, really get to know your partner at a different level.
Yeah, go in deeper. And
and I know people like, I know my partner. I'm like, do you though? Do you?
Because trust us, we've been there and we've gone through a lot of these questions, and
because date nights, sure, they're supposed to be fun, but it's about you and your partner.
Intimacy.
Yeah, intimacy. And so, it's fun to talk smack about the neighbors and about your coworkers and what happened at work and who's now doing that. That's totally fun, but also throw in something just unique to both of you, and share that. So for this episode, I have a good one. Ooh, I have a good one. So take out your pen and papers.
Okay.
Write this down. We're going to be sharing it also on our social media, so there's no need. The question is, if you could relive a year in your life, which would you choose?
Ooh. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. So ask that at your next day night. Let us know how it goes. Let us know some responses. We want to hear it.
So I'm the catch, huh?
I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
So the only reason why this man here is saying that,
and I'm not really like that. I'm just
is the catch, is because today we have a pretty juicy topic to discuss. About, let's say, I don't know, maybe like a couple weeks ago, this was trending on social media, and it was my social media of choice is TikTok. So it was all over TikTok, and it was, it definitely caught my attention because it had to do with a celebrity couple or two athletes. I don't know if they're other celebrities. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
they're still celebrities.
Yeah, I would classify them as celebrity.
So two celebrities, and a little bit of a controversial thing that one of the partners said, and it just blew up on social media. And so I kind of wanted to bring it onto our show, discuss it.
Let's go into it.
So, do you know who Simone Biles is?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right? Okay. And this is part of this whole controversy here.
Okay.
So, for those of you that don't know, because hey, there are people out there that don't know her, Simone Biles is an American gymnast.
Mm.
Okay, she owns the most world medals in U.S. history, 25
Wow.
total.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes, and she has the most world championships gold medals of any female gymnast.
Wow.
She holds 19. So that's impressive.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
for
because
sure.
she's 25, 26.
Wow.
I like watching the Olympics because of the gymnasts.
Mm.
And every now and then I watch volleyball.
Volleyball?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh,
When I remember
to tune in.
to tune in, but primarily it's gymnasts because they're so amazing.
Yeah.
Like
that's a true athlete right there.
yes,
Yeah.
like you look at them like, oh my gosh, like, and they make it look easy. And so when they mess up, you're like, wait, what? You messed up, girl? That's, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Simone Biles. She's also 2-time Olympian, 7-time Olympic medalist, 4 gold, 1 silver, 2 bronze. So this girl,
yeah, she needs a whole room for her medals.
and on top of her, like gymnast medals, she was awarded the Medal of Honor by Joe Biden.
There you go.
So, listen, she's
up there. Yeah,
she's up there. You might call her a catch.
For sure. Oh, 100%.
So, she last year married an athlete.
Okay.
His name is Jonathan James Owens. Do you know who that is?
Jonathan James Owens. I do not.
So up until this controversy that we're talking about, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
I knew of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew she had gotten married and he was a football player. And that's...
Oh, he's a football player.
Yeah. So he's a safety and he plays for the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean,
okay. Yeah.
I used to be a Green Bay Packer fan no, I was an Aaron Rodgers fan.
Yeah.
But, he's gone, so I moved on. So, yeah, I don't know much more about him other than that. And that he's extremely more taller than her because she's, I think, 4'8" or something like that. So they've been married, I think, less than a year. Okay. And so her husband went on a podcast. And there's like those that they're like video podcasts.
Oh yeah.
And so during his interview, he made a statement that kind of just drove social media crazy. He was asked, "Oh, how did you manage to catch Simone Biles? Like, how did you do that?" Right? Insinuating that Simone Biles is a catch.
Right.
And he went on to say that he was the catch. So he considered himself the catch in their relationship.
Oh.
And so I don't know.
I mean,
based on just what you and I just discussed about this, she's the catch.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
But we don't know them on a personal level. We don't know how their relationship, we don't know more than what they show to the public, right? Their public image is all that we know. And that's all we can really base it off of. So he goes on to say that she's the one that really showed interest in him. And then he was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, whatever, da, da, da. So they met on a dating app, which is, I think it's called Raya. Yes. I don't know. I think it's one of those dating apps that's more exclusive for maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would assume. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I don't think those athletes are on the average one.
Tinder.
Yeah, Tinder.
But yeah. So, and then in his interview, he goes on to say that he didn't know who she was. And so that's why I asked you, do you know who she was? And you're like, yeah. And you don't even watch the Olympics or the gymnastics.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But you know who she was.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so, but he went on to say, I didn't know who she was. And she's the one that swiped on me in the app. And then I was like, yeah, sure, I'll swipe back. Making it really like,
Oh, I see.
And it didn't go well with the audience and Simone's fans because one, he was coming off as like condescending in a way, like I'm the catch, like
Right.
I'm the one that is the main one,
the
in this
prize or
relationship.
whatever you
Yeah,
want to call
like
it.
I'm the
Yeah.
prize. And look, I looked up the guy. And I think he's like 29 or 28. Sure, he's good looking. I'll give him that, but he's nothing. I mean, he's no Idris Elba. I'll say that much. Okay. And it's so funny because the co-host of the podcast, or the host of the podcast, was like, "How do you not know who Simone Biles is?
Yeah.
Like, hello, do you not watch TV?" And he's like, "Well, you know, when she was doing, I guess, at her prime, when she was, you know, in the Olympics doing the gymnast thing, like, I was in college and we didn't have NBC channel or a TV, and so I was like, how would I know to watch or who she was?" I'm like, sir, it's like 2016, 2017. Like, there was still like YouTube, social media, like
your phone, like
this is not the 80s where you missed it and it was gone.
Right.
Like, you never knew what happened. I thought that was funny. And I felt like it was a little bit like, okay, now you're like really pushing it. Like, you know, he did say that he considered himself the catch, and that he fought really hard not to get married with her because he thought it wasn't the time yet. And I think they dated for like 3 years prior to that or something like that.
Wow.
And then he also goes on to say that in a relationship, men are the catch. So, you know, I don't know. There's different types of people.
Yeah.
There's some good people and there are bad people, right? And sometimes good people end up with bad people, and it is just, it can lead to a lot of different things in that aspect.
Right.
And so, of course, all this exploded on social media, and everybody was like, Simone, girl, you need to divorce him.
Wow.
Leave that man. He's no good. He's all
red
flags everywhere. And so they, like a little bit after all this kind of blew up, they posted on social media pictures of themselves, #unbothered.
Oh, wow.
You know, like for life and things like that. They posted like a picture at their wedding where they're both kind of like just, you know, posing for the camera and stuff. And so it looks like on their end,
they're happy.
They're happy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's a lot going on here. What do you think of this drama situation?
I mean, I think we're seeing it from our point of view, right? But I feel that if you put yourself in his point of view, if that's what he's thinking, I mean, you know, it's one of those things that's his opinion, right? That's his own opinion that he's a catch. So what I don't understand is like, I see that, like, you know, why people would get upward, but at the same time, like, that was his opinion. Like, you know, like, if he truly feels that way, then why take that away from him? Am I saying, is it wrong? No, but I mean, yes, but sorry. Yeah, I do think it's wrong, but like, you know, to even talk about that about your spouse, you know, like, I wouldn't say anything like that to you.
And I think that's what, so look, I'm not bothered by the fact that he's the catch. Because maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe she's the best gymnast and was awarded the Medal of Honor for bravery, but she's maybe a lousy wife.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know her. But so that didn't bother me, because when I first read about this, I remember asking you and your sister, right? And both of you guys had kind of the same stance. And I was like, what? So I was like, well, it's okay for the man to be the catch. Quite frankly, I feel that in our relationship, you're the catch. And it's not to say that I'm a bad person or I'm not good enough. It's just that I feel like I found a really good man, and surely, like, maybe I also contribute to the fact that you're a good man, but to me, you are the catch. And it's not like a bad thing or good thing. It's just, that's just who you are. Like, you're a good husband, you're a good man, you're a good friend, you're a good everything. So how is that not a catch? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's not really what bothered me. What bothered me was the fact that he felt so, it felt so easy for him to go on a public platform and talk about his wife in that manner. And the thing is, like, look, maybe you really truly believe that, you know, maybe in his little heart, his little mind, he is the best thing, because maybe he's not, right? And he's intimidated by everything that she's accomplished. And that, look, I mean, he's a football player. Good for you. I mean, safety. Come on now.
Wow. I mean, you know what they say: if you can't be a wide receiver, the wide receivers that can't catch, they end up being corners and safeties.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So, I mean, it doesn't compare. You represented the entire United States. I think she was in Brazil, and I don't know where the other one was, but that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah,
you're just national.
Yeah,
and I don't care if it's like the U.S. thinks it's, I mean,
the best sport in the world.
The best sport in the world, and like, you're the world champions. Like, no, you're not the world champions. You are domestic. Okay. So that's what bothered me, is the fact that he went on a public platform and said, my wife pretty much she's not all that, you guys. Like, I am the one. So she should be lucky. And I think that even though you feel certain things, you shouldn't go on and talk about your private life like that.
Yeah.
Because it could bite you in the behind. It could definitely come back to haunt you. And people change.
Right.
I've always been like this. So, and I don't know where I learned this, but I think it was just told to me, or I read it somewhere. I don't know. But it was like, never talk bad about your spouse or your partner to your family. Right? Because you never know if you're going to come back to that person, like, oh yeah, it was just a little fight. Never mind. And now your family, that family, whoever you told, is like, girl, like, you know, and they can kind of put certain thoughts or ideas into your head, or kind of bring in unnecessary things into that relationship. Right. And so just keep it private. Like, you fight. Yeah. You and I, we have had our disagreements. I'm not over there on social media like, oh my gosh, you guys, and Nefi just da-da-da-da, right? Yeah. No, like, we disagree in private and we resolve it in private.
Right.
That's not to say that you can't go ask your best friend for some advice, right? And I think that's a different level, where if you trust someone enough and you want to share a little bit about that, by all means. But don't share everything.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's what bothered me the most about him, is that he was just all nonchalant about it.
Right.
And I was like, what showed me is that you don't respect your wife nor your marriage. If you can just really go and talk about her, knowing the fact that everybody knows her and respects her and loves her.
Right. Exactly. So I think one of the biggest things about this is, one of the lessons that we can learn from this is the lesson of, like, privacy. In the relationship, keeping that thing private will be able to prevent from things like this happening, especially them who are, they're in the public eye, they're out there, stuff like that. But things like that could also happen in an average relationship like ours, like, say, if we, like you mentioned, we broadcast things could get out of hand. And then even within the family, within friends group, at work, even at work, things could happen like that. So one of the things that you can learn from this is, keeping those certain situations about the relationship private, because that's a big part of, I feel like, our success, is that we've been able to do that, and that's one of the things that we want to show people, and, and bring that kind of suggestion and, how do you say, like, not topic. Why am I losing it? Anyways.
I think what you're trying to say is that you have to be able to balance your relationship, just kind of like how you balance your life, you balance your relationship. Know when to say things and how to say them, and know when to keep things private. And I think it's a big issue nowadays for them, because they are younger. Not that we're hella old, but they're late 20s, mid 20s, whatnot. And in this social media world where everything tends to be broadcasted, it becomes like a norm. You know, and I've seen stuff on social media. I'm like, why are you guys doing this on a live? Why are you showing this on like a public platform? Like, you know, it's okay to keep things private.
Yeah.
And so, you know, my advice to Simone Biles, because she's a listener, no, to anybody that, you know, has encountered this type of scenario or is feeling this type of way is just, you know, keep that privacy. Discuss these things with your partner. You know, if there's something that you feel that you dislike or that you don't completely agree with, you know, voice it. Like, tell that person, you know what, like, I don't like this and that, or I don't like where this is going or how this is feeling, and solve it amongst yourselves. And I think in social media, we tend to just broadcast what's nice and pretty, and the reality of things isn't always portrayed. But not all relationships are happy, right? Not everything is like flowers and daisies. And so if you can learn to kind of close your mouth when you need to close your mouth, it's going to be fun. You and I have gone out and been mad at each other.
Yeah.
In a public setting with friends, with family. Like, well, you and I have been, because we argue about something. It's not like we immediately are like, okay, let's go solve it. We were mad for 5 minutes. Let's go figure it out. No, like, you know, we give each other space and we allow that to kind of, not simmer, but we sit with it so as not to say something that we might regret later. Yeah. Right. When you're 100%. Angry, when those emotions are so strong, you tend to say things that you don't mean.
Right.
And so we give each other space, but that doesn't mean that life doesn't stop. Right.
Right.
Like,
keep
so
going. Yeah.
We've gone out and we've been upset at each other, and I'm pretty sure people have noticed, but what can they do?
Yeah.
Right. And I do believe there was an instance where like, are you guys okay? I'm like, oh, yeah, we're fine. Right. And that's it.
Yeah.
You know, I could have been like, yeah, can you believe da 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 da, right? And made it a bigger deal than what it really was.
Right.
I don't remember what we fought about, but
yeah,
you know, like, just learn that.
Yeah.
And your relationship will be all that much better. And especially for them, it's a new relationship. Everything's new and everything, you know, I'm pretty sure she's willing to overlook a lot of things. Maybe he is too, because it's still a new relationship. And I hope that they last forever and that they're happy, but they're going to have to work at it. They're going to have to learn to keep stuff private and only share certain stuff about their relationship, because they're public figures. You know, yeah, sure, they're going to share a lot of things, but yeah, privacy. That's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what are your initial thoughts on all this?
All right, so check this out, though. My initial thoughts to this, I was like, I kind of agree with him. Well, no, not that I agree with him, but I was kind of like that. You know what I mean?
So you relate.
I could relate to him.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect. I could relate to him, because there's been times that I would say I'm the catch. That's why, you know, I would say that, like, I'm the catch.
I've never heard that.
You know what? Part of it is I say it to myself, because I would not say this out loud to people, kind of like how this guy did it. You know, I'm not going to announce it, but I would say that to myself, because the way I look at it is a confidence booster for myself, you know, because you're a 10, you know, you're a 10. So if I'm the catch, what does that make me? I'm an 11. So, you know what I mean? But it's just a self thing. Like, I say that to myself as for a self boost. That's how I utilize it. Okay, so I could relate to what he was going to say. But at the same time, what was kind of threw me off was like I said, I would keep that to myself, but I would not say that in a public forum. Right. Definitely not in the public forum. And I would definitely not say that to, like, my family and friends, like, especially being serious. Like, joking, yeah, maybe, because even, you know, just between me and you, our little banter, sometimes we'll be like mismatch, you know what I mean? Like, and I'll be like, you know what I mean? So, like, we joke around about that, but in reality, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, it's like a private thing. Like, you don't have to voice everything.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, so my initial thought is like, I could relate to him, but then I was just like, well, yeah, but he just went just on the deep end, just, you know, kept digging himself a hole, which was like Yeah, took it too far.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good topic, and it's important. I learned something.
There you go. And that's the important thing. You learn something new every day. I feel that we've proven that, and that's one of the important things you keep learning.
Yep. So thank you so much for listening. Don't forget the date night convo starter. It's going to be on our social media. But for those of you that missed it at the beginning, it is. If you could relive a year in your life, which year would you choose? Ask your partner that on your next date night, and
let us know how it went.
Yes.
Well, thank you for joining Everything But Perfect podcast, and we appreciate every one of you. And if you guys want to engage more, make sure to visit us at www.newwavemedia.org. Make sure to subscribe to EBP on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And don't forget to follow us at everythingbutperfect.podcast on Instagram. So thank you very much and have a good night.
Bye.
Later.